Welcome back to Bud Light Hog Talk. We're at District Bar and Grill, just a block away from the BMO. Slavko Bekovic alongside Brandon Svendsen, our next guest. Let's give it up for Brandon Svendsen.
Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being on the show. Bit of a tough stretch here for you guys recently before you went on that road trip, and then including that road trip, 6-game losing streak. How do you deal with piling up those losses like that? Obviously, no team ever wants to lose, but a 6-game streak coming off of a 3-game winning streak, you guys have been a little inconsistent. How tough is it for you guys to go on a stretch like that, especially on the road?
Yeah, it's obviously the mental aspect of the game rather than physical, and you just got to try to stay composed and not get too high or low and stay even keeled. And that's what it takes is hard work to get through those situations. And sometimes you're losing games that you deserve to win, and sometimes you win games that you don't deserve to. But we went through a little stretch there where we played well a couple games and still lost, and it was a tough little stretch. But I think if we stay composed and even keeled and keep working hard, we'll find our way through it here. And we won a couple in a row there, and we've been playing good the last couple games.
Yeah, you did finish out that 6-game win streak, back-to-back wins. Talk about that 5-4 shootout victory down in Texas. A big win. You guys were closer. It looked like you were on your way to 7 straight losses, down 4-1 after one period. What happened in that first intermission, or what did Teddy say, or what was it that kind of sparked the comeback and got you guys that big victory?
I think we just kind of bared down as a group, and when you go through a stretch like that, you get to a point where it's just like we got to find a way. And through the intermission there, we just kind of bared down, got our heads clear, and came back out in the second period there, and put a couple goals away. I think we had a power play goal and brought it back to 4-3 going into the third, and so we were in a great situation to be on the road, down by a goal going into the third period, and it was just a great emotional win for us, especially being in that tough stretch, and to pull off a win like that is it's a real boost for the confidence and the team morale.
4-1 down after one period, come back to tie it up in the third, go to overtime, go to the shootout, 5 rounds in the AHL, it's 1-1 after 5, and then 11 rounds. McCardle gets the goal, and then Carlson with a big stop. What was the celebration like for the team, or what was the dressing room like after that?
Oh, it was great. It's something we really needed as a group, and the emotions were running real high after that, especially through that kind of stretch, and being tired and getting through a win like that, and how exciting it was. It was a blast, and it was something great for us.
You guys followed it up with a quality 4-2 win down in Peoria that finished out the 4-game road trip. Although 3 were in Texas, you guys came back for a brief stint there to Rockford. That 4-2 win, I thought, was one of the better games the team played, and it was just kind of solid victory. And it didn't look like the team that had lost 6 in a row. Not that it's a different roster or anything different's happening. It just seemed like the confidence was there.
Yeah, it was. We were confident as a group, but we played consistent for 60 minutes, and that's something we've been struggling through for a little bit here. But when you play hard for 60 minutes, it's tough to lose games, and we've been playing really good, sound hockey, complete games, and everybody's pitching in. Everybody pitched in that game. We had some power play goals, and we just played very well defensively and finally scored, which is something that we need to be doing more of.
The scoring really hasn't been a general issue for the IceHogs this season, although recently there was the shutout in San Antonio, and then you guys come back to the BMO on Saturday. A tough 2-0 loss. Is that one of those games where you look back on it and say, man, we should have scored more goals? Obviously, you didn't score any, so you always want to score 4, 5, 6, whatever it may be. But at the same time, Kemper in net for them, 38 saves, gets the shutout. He's been playing some great hockey of late for them.
Yeah, they're a good team, and they play very good, sound defensive hockey. They got some big, strong defensemen. They clear the guys out in front of the net. It's hard to pick up that rebound, that second attempt. And, they blocked a lot of shots. Even though we put up 38 shots, when you get shots from the point, and if you're not getting that second attempt on a rebound and that, it's tough to put pucks in the back of the net because the goalie gets a chance to see it. And they did really well defensively. And, it was a good hockey game. We played very well as a team, and, we just got to start bearing down and scoring goals, finding a way.
How frustrating is it when you get those rebound opportunities and you get the loose pucks in the slot, but the defensemen are just doing just enough to lift that stick up off the ice or clear you out of the way a little bit to prevent that second shot from being on net? It was a good effort. The IceHogs certainly obviously pelted him with shots, but what do you guys have to do to take advantage and get to the net a little bit better and get those rebound opportunities home?
I think something we need to work on is on the rushes is getting a guy going hard to the net. making it difficult on the D-men, make the D-men have to turn, and just get more traffic around the net, constantly buzzing, and make sure we get our shots through from the point, especially if you get those shots through. And then, it's kind of hard to find the guys as defensemen or a centerman or the low man forward, whoever it is. If you got a couple guys going hard in the net, then there's a lot of action there. That's how you got to score goals in this league.
A 4-game road trip doesn't sound that long, but you guys as a team were gone for about a week and a half from Texas, down there for 3 games, come back, and then that trip to Peoria is not fun for anybody. Talk about the road trip, and do you like kind of going on the road that long, maybe clear your mind, refocus a little bit on just the team and playing hockey, or do you like to come back home and be in front of your home fans at the BMO?
Well, it's always great playing at home and being in front of your home fans and that, and places rocking, and it's a blast. But it's nice to go on the road once in a while for those long stretches when, say we're in the Texas for a week there. It was great. It's just you and the guys.
Right.
The whole team is together for the whole week, and, no distractions, nothing going on at home. You're on the road, and you got everybody in the hotel. You're doing everything together, and it's nice to do that. And, sometimes it takes a trip like that and allows you to pull out of that, that nasty groove that you're in. And, we ended the trip well there, and, hopefully we keep moving forward. Now we're playing good hockey as a team.
It's got to be a pretty good bonding experience for you guys, like you mentioned. The team's always together. What do you guys do to pass the time or kind of, stay together and do things off the ice?
Well, it's nice when you're on a trip like that, when you got a day off here or there, and you get to kind of go see things that maybe you normally wouldn't do, or, and when you're in Houston, and the city is enormous, and you walk around, there's nice parks there right where we stay, and, just doing things as a group, going out for dinners together, and, just hanging out, really. It's fun to be on the road like that when you're hanging out and you got nothing else to worry about.
And I'm sure a week in Texas in the middle of February doesn't hurt anybody's feelings, right? Some nice weather down there.
Yeah, I think it was about 75 and sunny every day, so we had nothing to complain about, that's
Nice.
for sure.
We got a question on Twitter. Amanda says, how do you guys pick your roommates? Does that have anything to do with maybe your bonding on the road trips, or what does that work? How does it work in Rockford with you guys' living situations?
Well, in Rockford, a lot of guys either have lived together before and
Right.
they continue to live together. Otherwise, you just kind of pick somebody that you fit well and similar schedules, and it just kind of works out, and it kind of works itself out. You don't really worry
Right.
about it. Yeah.
Now, you're a 27-year-old. You're one of the older guys on the
Yep.
IceHogs. Is it kind of odd for you sometimes being around with 19, 20, 21-year-olds, or do you feel like it's all kind of the same hockey camaraderie?
Actually, somebody just asked me that question the other day, but when you're on a team like this and you got just a group of guys, especially hockey players, it really doesn't matter the age difference. Everybody's kind of on the same page, and we only have a couple married guys with kids, and other than
Right.
that, the rest of us are, you have girlfriends or single or whatever it is. But you're in the locker room. You're just a group of guys hanging
Right.
out, really.
For you, this season started off kind of on a sour note with the injury that you sustained, and it took you a while to get back. It was a torn bicep, right?
Yeah, I had the
classified as an upper body injury.
I had the upper body injury there at the end of the year last year, and then going into training camp this year. So, it's part of life. It's part of the game, especially with our sport. We get banged up and things happen. So, it was a rough way to enter the season, and I had a late start. But that's how it goes. You just got to bear down and deal with it, and that's part of being a pro.
Had a little 4-game stint down in Toledo. Did that help you at all? Kind of get the legs back underneath you, get the wind down. You're not sucking air coming off the ice.
Yeah, it was nice to get some games in and just kind of get that game timing in, that game shape that you need to be in. Just having that timing of the game, what's going on, how to, making passes, quick plays, and that. And it was good for me to just get in there and start playing a few games and get comfortable again.
It was nice too for you. There was guys from Rockford who were down there at the time as well. So I mean, fitting in, even if you're not going to be there very long, must
Yeah.
be nice to have familiar faces, guys you can talk to.
Yeah, it was nice having the guys down there, but I've been around for a few years now, and so I knew other guys that I played with elsewhere, and they were on the same team. So, with hockey teams, you usually you show up and you're one of the guys right away.
Right.
You're always it's always a good group of guys with hockey players, that's for sure.
Especially since you're 13, 14 years old, guys are changing leagues, changing teams all the time. There's almost a guarantee, no matter what team you go on, you've played with somebody before, you've played against them. You see familiar faces often.
Yeah, you truly do. The hockey world is the smallest world. You're always running into somebody, or somebody knows somebody that and it's a small world. So you're always comfortable with the guys.
Are any big differences between the ECHL and AHL that you notice, maybe as far as style of play or just talent-wise?
I think it's obvious that there's a higher talent level in the the American Hockey League. But the speed of the game, that's the biggest difference, and the structure of the game, and having the four lines like the ECHL, they only have 3 lines and an extra guy. So you're going constantly. You get tired. The game can be a little bit slower, but the pace of the game and the structure is what the biggest difference is.
Another question from Twitter. Abby asks, "What's the best part of playing in Rockford?"
The best part of playing in Rockford.
Rock Vegas.
Rock Vegas. Our home games, when that barn is sold out, it's unbelievable, and I think everybody remembers the pink in the rink night. I'm sure,
who can forget that? Yeah.
That we'd like to be on the winning end of that, but those are nights that are a blast. And it's just wild in there, and anything goes, and it's a good time.
Now you're one of those guys who maybe you look at when you watch 60 minutes of hockey, you notice a Brandon Svendsen, but sometimes the things that you do don't show up on the score sheet. How much pride do you take in being a two-way player, such a complete player? Because so many times on broadcast, Peck and I have mentioned how we feel that you were one of the top skaters on that team or that given night.
Yeah, and I'm not the biggest statistical guy. I'm not putting up big numbers in that, but I take a lot of pride in being consistent and showing up every night and playing hard every shift. Never taking a shift off and doing those things that you might not see on paper, but the guys give you a tap on the back when you get back to the bench, whether it's a back check and picking a pocket or blocking a shot.
Absolutely.
Or, having a good forecheck, having good energy and bringing it for the team to keep the team going. Those are the things I take a lot of pride in, and, it helps win games, I think.
You've been around the league for a while, 27 years old, one of the older guys, and it's kind of funny to say that a 27-year-old is like top 5 oldest guy on the team. Do you kind of take that veteran presence at all, try to be maybe a vocal leader at all with the guys, or help a guy who's in a funk sometimes, just saying, look, it's all part of the game, it's a long season, just take it easy?
Yeah, after a while, you kind of learn how the system works, and, you can't beat yourself up mentally, and that's something I try to talk to guys when they're in a bit of a struggle, but other than that, I'm not the most vocal guy. I kind of say things when they need to be said, but, I'm not running around making a show or...
Right.
anything like that. So,
did you enjoy the bowl-a-thon yesterday? Like everybody had a good time? Yeah,
it was good. It was a really nice thing they did. Obviously it represents something great, and the family that set it up, they did a really nice job. It was a blast. So it was fun to bowl with the fans and meet people that you normally wouldn't, and it was a really good time. I know most of the boys had a blast.
Are you much of a bowler?
I wouldn't say that I'm an avid bowler, that's for sure, but I did all right. I had the bumpers though, so.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You did you have the high score at the end of the day?
I didn't have the high score. So. No, I wanted to let my group do the winning. So
some of the guys that I saw yesterday kind of surprised me with their bowling skills. I think Dahlbeck at one point was in the 5th or 6th frame and had about a $130 already on the scoreboard, and he even looked at me and said, "I don't know what's going on right now."
Well, I think the 9-pin strike might have helped him out a little bit.
I know Beach was all about it. I think he stayed 2 or 3 hours afterwards. He was holding court with the fans there and placing bets and wagers, having kids do one-on-one bowling and stuff like that. So it seemed like everyone had a pretty good time.
Yeah, everybody did. It was a really nice thing. It was a nice day. It was a lot of fun. It was a really great thing they did.
Now, personally, I'm glad that Mike Peck's not hosting this week's show, because you two Minnesota boys would just never stop talking about Minnesota.
I think he has more pride in Minnesota than I do. That's all he talks about. He loves his Minnesota sports, that's for sure, too.
But you weren't born in Minnesota, were you?
No, I wasn't born in Minnesota, but I pretty much spent my entire life there. I was born in California, but moved back to Minnesota when I was less than 1, so I don't think it really counts.
Gophers guy, Vikings, Twins, Timberwolves?
I support the teams. Not a fan of the Gophers, but obviously the professional teams, I always back them up, but I'm not shooting my mouth off about the teams, that's for sure.
Peck lumps you in with all these other Minnesota guys, like everyone's so proud, but I think he's really the one who's the most proud of all of it.
Oh, he's the most proud, and he's looking for support everywhere, I think.
Illini, University of Illinois basketball beat the Gophers in basketball last night, so that was a big win for my Illinois team, but that's not here or there.
Well, as long as you let Peck know about it.
Oh, yeah, we made sure to chirp him in the office today. Now, you and Peck, another maybe Minnesota connection, neither of you have a Twitter account.
No.
Why?
No, I'm not too big in the social media stuff. I leave that to everybody else.
We had people asking us questions on Twitter and Facebook on Hog Talk, wondering why Svendsen doesn't have a Twitter. You're one of the last guys. I think you and Brookbank might be the only 2 guys left that don't have a Twitter.
Maybe it's because we're the 2 old guys.
The 2 geezers, right? Although he's got like 8 years on
Yeah,
me.
he's got a few on me.
Is there any? Do you have a Facebook?
I do have a Facebook.
MySpace back in the day? No?
Nope.
No MySpace. I was kidding about that one. That'd be a little bit embarrassing. Brandon Peary, we saw. Well, Svender, thanks for the time and best of luck this week.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thanks
All
for
right,
having
give
me.
it up for Brandon Svendsen. We'll be